That's our God. That's our God. Okay, that's it, great. Everybody gets really quiet all of a sudden. Why? Why is it really quiet? We're just waiting on you, man. Yeah. Waiting on Ryan. I'm sure my phone will do that.
I said sorry for the wait. Been a lot on my plate for being great. Been popping it, it's not a debate. Been plotting on ways to align with the greats and find the opposite of Hollywood and someone to date. She got 100 followers and turn love in hip hop. Just stop. I saw you yesterday at the thrift shop. We all on the way to stay afloat when the ship stop. Push income can instantly appear in my inbox. Still, I'm getting mine right. Time is finite. It's why.
All right, welcome back to Business and Brews. This is episode 4. I'm Kevin Vincent.
I'm Ryan Smelts.
And it's our mission here to actually spotlight local businesses and business owners, so that way you get a deep dive of what it's like to actually own the business or what business professionals are actually experiencing in that industry.
Yeah, cool, man. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are honored and privileged to have Jessica with us. Jessica,
Hello.
tell us who you are.
Yes, so my name is Jessica Marin, and my last name, I feel like it is a little bit important because we have a swimwear company, my sisters and I. So in Colombia, they call us the Marin Sisters. So, yeah, with the swimwear brand. And we started a bikini line. It's called Lulo Swimwear. We're from Colombia, South America, and we're on our 5th year now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here, Jessica. Real quick, we're just going to shout out what we're drinking. The brewery that we're actually highlighted today is Bold Rock. I'm actually drinking Bold Rock hard cider. The peach. Ron, what do you have there, buddy?
Yeah, the peach.
All right, great minds think alike. And Jessica actually has a really good one. Which one's that one, Jessica?
I have a hard apple cider.
How's that one taste for you?
Pretty good.
All right, we'll do a little cheers to that. All right. So, you want to start off with the first question, Ryan, or?
Yeah, okay, so Jessica, our last 3 guests have been asked this same question because my favorite beer is Sweet Baby Jesus. And I know a little birdie told me that you don't drink beer, but what is your drink of choice?
So I really like wines. I don't like sweet wines.
Red or white?
I'm more like a red.
Red, rosé, or?
No, like Lulo, Cab.
Yeah.
Red blends that are more on the bitter side. They're
So
not
true
so
wine
sweet,
drinker.
yeah.
True wine drinker. Any region particularly you like, or any country that you like?
Argentina, California has really good wines. There is a really good wine out there for if you guys don't like it too strong or you're going into red wines.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Apothic Red.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
guys-
like that. Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's not too strong and it's not sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the perfect blend,
Yeah.
and it's not so expensive.
That's right. Budget friendly. We like that.
But if you drink wine every day, you don't want it to get too
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about your swimwear brand. So we know the what, but what I want to know is the how. So take us back to if you can, the moment or the series of moments that created Lulo Swimwear.
So, like I said, it's 3 of us, 3 sisters. I'm the youngest of 3. And the middle one, she went to school for fashion design. And she kind of got into bikini making 20 years ago. A really long time ago. She's not that old, actually. She's only 36.
Okay.
But right when that was her thesis, she created a brand, and it was a swim brand. It didn't work out too good for her. She kept bringing some from Colombia, and we never really paid attention to it until one Christmas. We were all together. We were like, we should start a company together, something where we can give back to the community.
Right.
Something that's not just for our benefit, when it gets big.
That's right.
But we really wanted to do something with our community in Pereira, Colombia, which is where the bikinis are made. And my father and my mother, they raised us always visiting a lot of indigenous communities. Unfortunately, in Colombia, our indigenous communities are very underprivileged because they don't get the same amount of help as the other people. There's been a lot of turmoil in Colombia, like you guys
Right.
know, like in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people affected are these indigenous people. So growing up, my dad would always take us. We would build schools, and so it's been kind of like something that we've always wanted to do.
Right.
So, and we're like, well, let's create a bikini company. She was like, I already know about it. I know the people who can make them for us, and it came out from there. So Lulo, the name of it, is actually a fruit that grows in Colombia.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not. It's seen in other parts of the Amazon, but it's mostly in Colombia. It's a very Colombian fruit.
Mhm.
But in the outside, it's very ugly. But in the inside, like, you make something good from it, you can only make juice because it's very bitter. So we got the name because we were trying to make something nice out of something ugly, which is the situation that's going on with the children in Colombia.
Yeah.
We're trying to make something good out of it. So the bikinis kind of like plays onto that with the name.
That's great. That is awesome. I mean, me personally, I know whenever I do choose a brand I'm actually purchasing, actually them giving back and how they actually got started in their actual story, that's a huge part of it. I mean, I definitely applaud you and your family for taking that on. That's amazing.
Thank you.
No problem. No problem. So what are some of the challenges that you're currently facing in your business?
So that's actually one of the biggest things. Some people really care about the social aspect, and they're really conscious, you know, into not shopping like fast fashion.
Right.
But the problem is that our bikinis are not necessarily, now with the way that industries work, you can get a really beautiful bikini for $5.
Right.
And unfortunately, like, people are not really into buying one piece and like keeping it for a long time.
Right.
We have a very what do you call it? It's disposable mindset about clothes
Right.
and the things that we wear. So women, they generally have like 10, 15 bikinis.
Right.
And so our bikinis are a little bit more expensive because we pay fair wages. All of our fabrics are environmentally friendly, and we put a lot of thought into every little detail.
Right.
Like, for example, we have like these little beaded tassels, and we have a group of women who make that. And it's a company, and they have their own organization. So we try to employ people who are trying to make a difference within the community.
Right.
So all those little details, those are things that we have to pay for. So we have like everything goes up.
Absolutely.
So that has been one of the challenges, is trying to sell something, and then we're so excited about what's behind the company that a lot of people really don't really care. They're like, okay, just sell me the bikini.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but we want people to be conscious. Like, be conscious about what you're shopping,
Right. Right.
where you're shopping from,
Absolutely.
and like, yeah.
Absolutely. Like, where are those dollars really going that you're actually investing in the actual product that you're purchasing? And,
Yeah.
you know, for you, it's there's a bigger cause other than just profit. So definitely commend you on that.
And also, like any business person would tell you, the first 5 years are really hard.
Absolutely.
So you have to invest, and a lot of times it's like we're the worst critics, because we're like, oh, sometimes this is not gonna work. Like, this is not gonna work. And then other people are like, wow, you guys have such a good product, this, and that. And then sometimes we need other people to pick us up. And I think that's also been a challenge, that we doubt ourselves.
Right.
And then until we validate that we're actually doing a good thing.
Sure.
That's cool. So I like the backstory, and when I asked you like a little bit of the how, you kind of answered one of my questions, like why bikinis? But you mentioned that it's 3 sisters, and I've heard you talk before that you have a little bit of help, you know, extended family there. So what can you tell me about like each person's role? Because obviously everybody doesn't do the same thing.
Yeah, so it's three sisters, but we all design because we all have very different taste in the way that we dress, and that's just like any women.
Right. Absolutely.
Some of our shoppers, they really like really small bikinis. Some girls like a little bit something more conservative. So we have like a little bit of everything types of women. So we all design, but like for example, the one that lives in California, I would have to say she's like the rock star of our company. She's the one. There's always somebody who's like, kind of like, really knows everything.
Yeah.
She's the one.
Yeah.
She's the one in charge of our social media. And the one in Colombia, the one in Miami, she's the one that's really in touch with everybody in Colombia, like the production part of the aspect. And I'm in charge of like keeping up with the website, like what comes in, like the emails, and the financing. So we do have like some roles, but we're all, like if one is gone for a week or something like that, we can all do each other's roles.
That's great. That's great. I mean, that is a very good principle to have inside the business. So that way, if one person's out, the business still runs. That is amazing.
Yeah. So we're all pretty knowledgeable about each other's
roles. Yeah.
roles.
That's always good. That's always good. So I have to ask this, since you guys are a family, who's the leader? Is it the one in California, or are you the one driving it? Is that a little bias? I'm a little biased here. So.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, the leader is the one that's in California because So another thing that is that a lot of our buyers are in California.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And we have the first mobile bikini store in the United States.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we're in
what part of California is it?
So it's so cute. I'll show you guys pictures after the interview.
We're all moving to California now.
No, it's like it's a 1965 like vintage trailer. So
like an Airstream almost, or
yes,
it's Airstream.
Well, it's kind of like that. And so it's like a mobile bikini, so it goes everywhere, like Venice Beach, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We've gotten invited to like different places. So my sister takes it, and she's really the one that has like more contact with our customers and stuff like that. So she's really the one that knows about a lot of what's going on with the sales aspects of the company. So she's really the one that says like, this is what I think we should do because this and that.
Right.
And she's the one that kind of like proposes a lot of our bigger investments.
Right.
So we're all kind of like, okay, I think so. Yeah. So she's more like.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where you all selling them primarily? Like, is it primarily internet, or is it the store, or the actual shop that's in California, or like where does the biggest portion of sales come from usually?
So the biggest, I think, from our mobile bikini.
Okay.
Bikini trailer.
Yeah.
Because we're everywhere, so people follow the Instagram, and they're like, and we let people know like, hey, we're gonna be at this location.
It's like a food
come
truck
visit
almost.
us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of like a food truck.
Yeah.
So people that have either like tried on stuff. We always have customers like, hey, I never got that bikini. Can you please send it to me? I tried it on at this place and I didn't get it. So, and it's also, we also offer a little bit discounted prices than our website. So people generally like follow us and they're like, oh, you guys are gonna be here. So we have people always coming. So that's our biggest, because we do about 2 to 3 a week, like in different locations.
Right.
So it's like a brick and mortar except on wheels.
Yeah, exactly. And no real overhead, no rent, no nothing like that.
Exactly, and that's the best part.
Yeah,
because the industry of like, you know, the commercial industry, I think that it's changing a lot.
Absolutely.
And stores, I feel like, are not getting to customers the same way that they did like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that with the decline of the malls and the normal retail store. I mean, anything that goes up against the internet now loses. So that's kind of the rule of thumb. So $1 million question is, what is your favorite bikini that you guys carry? And we're gonna link to. I'm gonna put Ron in charge of linking to that actual bikini in the description after we get this posted.
So
I know we can't show it here, but let's describe it a little bit.
Yeah. Come in, guys. So we have some really cute stuff that I can't really choose. I have like two favorites.
Two favorites?
They're like long
Mhm.
sleeve.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of different.
Is there a certain size woman that you guys cater to, or is it kind of the whole?
Well, no. We right now we only cater to small, medium, and large.
Okay.
But when we are, so we are in some stores in California.
Mhm.
We have some
Oh,
some boutiques that carry our line, and hopefully, and we're talking to do business with another store and 2 more stores in Miami. So if the store caters to bigger women,
Mm-hmm.
then we do make for
Okay.
them as well.
That's cool.
Sorry, I've been hung up all the time.
No, you're fine. So I was thinking because I'm pretty sure you guys have been to a couple, but tell me a little bit about trade shows.
So trade shows are interesting.
Hmm.
They sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. It's just like if you happen to catch the attention of a really big buyer and it's just the luck. It's like kind of like
Mhm.
a very
Luck of the draw.
luck
Yeah.
of the draw because things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Back maybe like 10 years ago when these trade shows, you would send an email to a bunch of buyers
Mm-hmm.
and set up appointments. And generally they make appointments and then they come in with appointments to see these brands, and then you sit down, you show them the product, and then they take the line sheet, like all the information with them, and then a couple weeks later they put in the order. This can be anywhere from like really small boutiques who want to put an order of like 20 bikinis, or this can be like a really big, like
Mm-hmm.
make or break,
Yeah.
where we had, but these people, they spent maybe like $100,000 on their setup.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very beautiful setup. They had Dillards. They
Mhm.
ordered $3 million.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So it's like
It's luck of the
if
draw.
you happen to have something that they catches their attention and it's something that they're looking for, they're gonna stop and maybe like, and then they're very like, show me what you got. You got
Yeah.
like 3 minutes
Yeah.
to
That
show them.
elevator pitch kind of
And then
mentality.
exactly,
Yeah.
you kind of gotta sell it like right then and there.
Mhm.
So sometimes it's worth it, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it's not.
So it's all luck of the draw, man. I love it. I love it. So it sounds like Instagram and social media has been a big piece of what helping to establish what the actual the mobile bikini part of it. What are some of you guys' best practices for social media? Because I think that kind of can transcend a lot of industries. I mean, whatever you guys are doing with social media, because in order for people to know where you're at, you have to be effective on social media if they're following
Oh
you.
yeah, for sure. So one of our biggest things that we've used to kind of like catapult our
Yes. Hopefully your sisters won't get mad by you
Our
sharing your
sister?
secret sauce.
no, this is something I believe that if you have a business and you're willing to put in the work,
Mm-hmm.
then other business people who are doing something that's successful, I think everybody should share the love
Absolutely.
because
It's just what's best for the industry. I mean, if the whole
Yeah.
industry succeeds, then everybody wins.
exactly. One of the things that has worked for us is we've gotten to work with some of Instagram's like famous people. No,
Mm-hmm.
you
Like
know, they're Insta
influencers,
famous.
yeah.
They're like we
Influencers,
had
yeah.
one girl who decided to work for us
Mhm.
and would started work with us. Now she has like 5 million followers on Instagram, and she's been one of the like persons that has really put us out there. And so I think that's one of the things that has really worked for us is working with
Like partnering with the actual
influencers who actually like the brand. She actually didn't charge us because she felt so strongly about
Mhm.
our brand
Right,
and what we do.
right.
That's awesome.
So she's pretty cool and she's very pretty. So that has been one of the things. Another thing is doing, like the promotions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I've seen a lot of the influencer marketing taking off recently,
Yeah.
and I think Amazon started doing it too.
Did they? How did they?
So you can, someone like her would be able to be an influencer marketer on Amazon, and they connect that person to the seller,
Mhm.
like the private label seller through their platform.
Hmm.
It's-
Yeah, I mean, that's what I said, I mean, it transcends so many different industries, because I mean, like you were saying, to your point, I mean, the retail landscape is changing so much, I mean, everything is, you know, social media driven and based off of mobile, that you have to be where the customer's attention is, so that's fine.
Yeah, even the big brands like Nike,
Mhm.
like they're investing into sending products to these influencers because they know that's how nowadays people don't sit in front of a TV and
Yeah.
watch commercials.
Right, exactly,
Now
yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
Instagram.
the cell phone's the TV and the TV's the radio now. So.
Yeah.
Gary Vee, right?
Right?
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Gary Vee is one of Ryan's favorites, so.
It's great.
Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. You just spell it out like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought, sorry.
No, you're fine. He's why I'm here, so.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to the mobile bikini store, because it's an interesting concept, especially since it's not food. What are some locations you guys have sold at that you feel have been the most successful?
So there's a once a month there's an art expo in Venice Beach,
Mhm.
and that's probably one of our most successful because people in Venice, it's just like depending, so we have to define our markets.
Mhm.
So people in Venice are people who tend to really be very conscious shoppers. So they're not really buying, I mean, they're buying things that are pretty, but they're also buying the brand, like they're buying they're very earth friendly and
Yeah.
all that jazz. So they're really into slow fashion, and they really like the brand. So we have people who already know us because we go there almost every month. So they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that bikini that I didn't get last time,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get this that I didn't. Or they bring friends. So that's probably one of our most successful places.
Like it. One thing, so it was actually a Gary Vaynerchuk interview with some sort of restaurant owner or something, and he talked about when you can make the person come back a third time, the chance of them returning as a customer after.
Was that the one with John Tapper?
It might have been.
Yeah.
It might have been.
It's freaking crazy, man, I love that guy.
He said it was 70%.
Yeah.
So it's like 10%, it's like 15%, and then it shoots up to 70% after the third visit.
Yeah.
So would you say that that's kind of what that does for you?
Yeah, and I think that's exactly true because I think that's why we do so good. We were thinking, oh, it's gonna not be as good like as the time goes by because we have the same, but it's not the same people because Venice is a place where there's a lot of tourism as well.
Venice Beach.
So it's like some of our old shoppers and then some people who are new and they're like, oh, this is new, it's
Yeah.
California.
Have to buy it. It's in California,
You have to
right?
buy
Yes,
it.
that's right. It's
We're
the
like,
beach.
We're never gonna see it again, but
That's
here's our
right.
website.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. You have any more questions?
From a fulfillment standpoint, because I know you guys sell through a website and you're not on Amazon yet, so what do you guys do for fulfillment?
What do you mean?
Like when a customer places an order, does it come from?
Oh, Shopify. So our platform is Shopify. So it comes in and we fulfill it the next day. We have
Yeah.
everything in stock.
Yeah, but I mean, where is the stock? Like,
So it's in California.
okay.
Our warehouse is in California. And I say warehouse because we're a small company.
Yeah, but still,
Warehouse,
I mean,
AKA.
yeah, for tax purposes, a warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, that must. I mean, that's always a good excuse to go to California for a business trip, though.
I'm always in California
I'm
for
sure.
a business trip.
Gotta go check the
I love
warehouse.
it. I love it. Yeah, wish I had that problem. Absolutely.
I do, but mine's in Durham, so.
Yeah, California, Durham, same thing, right?
Same thing.
Yes, we love Durham. Durham's a great. Durham's a great place. Don't ever want to say anything differently about that.
I just brought up the 3 visits thing because even you selling houses, like so many people, they get stuck on what it is they sell,
Mm-hmm.
and they meet a person and they're like, I want you to buy, I want you to buy. When in reality, it sounds like it's more important to get that person to come back.
Right, yeah. I mean, you know, and it's just like anything else. I mean, I think it's more or less based off relationship when you're talking about like a higher transaction price. But your mission and what your company stands for is amazing. I think that if you get that in front of the right consumer, it's just a matter of that brand awareness, and it's a no-brainer. I mean,
How do you communicate that to your customers, like face to face and on the website?
So on the website we have like a tab, and we try to do blogs of at least once a month we try to do activities with the kids that we help in Colombia. So we try to get photographers out there to kind of like, so people can see, because as of right now 10% of every sale that we make goes to the organization. So we want the customers who really care about that 10% to kind of stay in touch about what's their money being used for. So we try to do blogs, we try to post pictures on our social media. We try to put a lot of stories when we're having events and stuff like that.
Sweet deal.
That's sweet though. Sweet though. You ready for the last question?
We got a last question, and then we got where to find her.
Yeah, absolutely. My last question is, you know, I know we've been talking a lot about business, but when you're not working on it, what do you like to do for fun?
I'm at a warehouse in Durham. No, I'm just kidding.
What warehouse would that be, I wonder? You want to plug your business too, Ryan, or you?
Find us at Top Dresser. Julie and Julia.
That's right.
No, so, when I'm not doing that, I'm helping my mom. She has another business.
Okay.
So we do weddings and stuff like that. So I'm trying to help her, because a lot of the things that I've learned through Lulo Swimwear, like, you can apply it to almost any company, just because the mistakes that you make as a newbie, it's things that you don't have to doing. So yeah, so my time goes into those two businesses.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deferred gratification, I love it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, she because that's how we met Jessica. And you know, she came around, she's doing business and stuff, and we were really impressed with everything she built up. So now for one of our brands, she's basically going to do what she just said, apply some of the same concepts. So we're pretty excited about that. More to come. But so my last question is, I have a tendency to think big, like worldwide big. What is your vision for the future of Lulo Swimwear? What does that look like?
My vision for Lulo Swimwear would be for not only let people be more conscious about, you know, what they buy, but practically be in every beach and pretty much every resort. Be everywhere where you need a bikini.
That's right.
Like, people can be like,
a household name.
yeah, so like people can just say, don't even say, oh, you should get a bikini. They're gonna say, you should get a Lulo.
Exactly.
I love your
Gotta be
Lulo.
kidding
Oh,
about
it's
the
Lulo. Oh, sorry for you.
Oh, sorry, yes.
What is
You're not
it
helping
for?
anybody out.
Went extinct. No, yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, no, but seriously though, we would like to go into pretty much every major market. Like, you know, United States. We sell it in Australia as well, Hawaii. So just pretty much be in every country.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, how can people find out more about you and your company? You want to shout out where they can find you?
Yes, it's luloswim.com. Lulo, Lulo. .com.
Okay.
Follow our Instagram, Lulo Swimmer.
Okay. Facebook as well, or do you guys have Facebook following?
Yes, we do have some Facebook, but
mostly
we
Instagram.
really go for Instagram.
Okay.
We feel like our market
It's in Instagram.
more
Gotcha.
towards Instagram.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
Bikini, hashtag bikinis with a purpose. That's our hashtag.
I like that.
Nice.
Bikinis with a purpose.
That's at the tail end of your Facebook page, because I tagged it in the live and it popped up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Well, thanks, Gavin. Thanks, Jessica.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Saving your recording.
Justin, thank you so much.
I said sorry for the wait. Been a lot on my plate for being great. Been popping it, it's not a debate. Been plotting on ways to align with the greats and find the opposite of Hollywood and someone to date. She got 100 followers and turned love and hip hop. Just stop. I saw you yesterday at the thrift shop. We all on the way to stay afloat when the ship stop. Wish income could instantly appear in my inbox. Still, I'm getting mine right. Time is finite. That's why I find height inside the limelight.